Let's drop in. I'm feeling a gentle, soothing breeze on my skin. I'm noticing some thoughts that I was mulling over last night, coming in through my mind's landscape right now. Remnants of dreams. What did you dream about last night? Did you write it down? I wrote down my dream. It was really interesting. So as we're in the full expression of fire energy in summer season, according to the Taoist framework, as we're moving toward summer solstice, which would be midsummer according to that modality. Summer solstice being the day where there's the most light in the northern hemisphere, June 21st. So this, a lot of yang energy, a lot of expansion and creativity, a lot of motivation, which can show up as ambition, which can be understood as a form of aggression. So how to tune in to what we actually have capacity for in relationship to where we are inspired, so that we don't burn out. So that might require a process of deep acceptance. And I don't know if the action of acceptance follows awareness. There's got to be some kind of awareness to say to ourselves, okay, let's take a moment and accept where we are physically in space, location. I'm on Chumash land, the river bottom, my favorite place. And I have to accept that this river is dwindling and will go dry this year. From that place of deep acceptance, I get to make choices. I can walk the dry riverbed, which will reveal, I'm sure it will have its own teachings. I can go to the beach. I'm very lucky where I am. Accepting our emotional landscape, what's happening inside, our feelings, our responses, which are so intertwined with the experiences in our life, with our disposition, with our history, with our ancestral experiences. And accepting other people, it's not only how we relate to ourselves and the landscape, the physical landscape, the land, the rocks, the trees, our bedroom, our dining room, but how we relate to other people. And sometimes it's good to just get outside and to drape yourself over a grandfather rock, because these relatives are so ancient and they can really help us to regulate our nervous system and to feel a sense of belonging. Sometimes it's hard to feel a sense of belonging with other humans. There's so much that we're all dealing with, struggling with, and we are so imperfect. So hopefully you can take this video with you outside, or do this on your own without the phone at all, or maybe do this inside on a bed or a couch. So finding something to drape yourself over, something that is imperfect and uneven, although I think this rock is absolutely perfect. It's not symmetrical, we'll say that. I don't know if you'll be able to see me on this rock. Maybe I'll have to drape myself into this other rock. There's the exoskeleton of this. I don't know what this bug is, but even the eyes have an exoskeleton. They're these kind of glassy globe-like shapes. Could be my friends. So draping your belly, your endoderm, as it's called in embryology, the front body, which from the front body arises the digestive system and the respiratory system. Draping the body over the belly, over a rock. And feeling into a deep sense of belonging. What are the sensations you're experiencing? What does it feel like to pour your front body into something? I don't know, we talk about rocks as being inert, but for me there's so much aliveness that I can feel right through the core of my body. My sensory system is really alive right now. I don't know, maybe that's wrong. Maybe they don't talk about rocks as being inert. I don't know. I'm not a biologist or a geologist, but I do have a love for rocks. And now draping the back body over the rock. And this is the ectoderm. And from the ectoderm develops the nervous system and the outer layer of skin. What does it feel like to surrender the belly to the sky? It's a kind of vulnerability, exposing our most tender parts to the sky, to a possible predator, hawk, owl. And what is your nervous system taking in? What is your skin feeling? What is the temperature of the surface underneath you? What is the temperature of the air all around you? That you can surrender a little bit more, letting go a little bit more. Then from in between the back body very slippery right there because of the algae. In between the back body and the front body arises the mesoderm, the middle body. And from the middle body starts the peroneal body, the pelvic floor. From the pelvic floor arises the primitive streak, creating the pituitary gland, this gland that governs the systems of the body. As we inhale, bringing our awareness, tracing our breath down the front of the spine, all the way into the pelvic floor. And on the exhale, tracing the breath back up the inside of our body, right along the front of the spine, out through the nose. Inhaling. On the inhale, even though there's this expansion, finding this resolve, so there's a kind of almost opposition happening, and on the exhale there's this contraction or this softening, and at the same time there's this arising, and we can even bring the breath all the way up into the pituitary glands, finding the relationship between these two queens. How do we sense from here our deep place of knowing, our deep place of mystery and wonder? How do we sense from here the place where we make decisions from? How we orient ourselves to the outer world? Bonnie Bainbridge-Cohen talks about the pituitary glands, the glands of light, and the pineal gland as the gland of darkness. We cannot have one without the other. And now bringing a little bit of strength into the body, into the musculoskeletal system, which also arises from the mesoderm, the middle body. Finding something where there's two levels, like a bed or maybe a dining room table or a couch, so that you can plant your feet nice and wide, a nice big bend in the knees. So really feeling the information and the tonicity from the earth so we can rise. We have to move down in order to push up. We can't move from here. We need that buoyancy, that resiliency, that landing. Even finding a little softness through the elbows here, keeping the elbows close, gathering underneath the armpits, not locking out the joints, to use our muscles in service of the architecture of the body. Softening around the neck, reaching out through the crown of the head, maybe a little push up here. And reaching up the arm, keeping the hips where they are. We're going to find a spinal twist. So feeling into what is possible just within the spine, and this might feel very active. Maybe this is where your arm can go. Being in acceptance of what is available in your body right now. Making some circles with the arm. Maybe you're hypermobile and the circles look like this. try backing off a little bit. Try staying inside the full extension of what's possible and changing directions with the circles. Maybe letting the head and neck move. Letting yourself see around you. And now pushing off the opposite foot, finding that opposition through the body, a nice big spiraling and a twist, looking up to the sky. I see a turkey vulture. Eyes and fingers finishing the spiral. And then resolving. Getting a little serpent movement through the spine. And now, other arm, keeping the hips where they are, finding the twist through the spine. Maybe even really grounding down with the opposite leg and the opposite hip to allow for this opposition to happen. Might be a little traction that's happening through the spine. And making some circles. And remembering to soften in the elbow. I just remembered that. Changing direction with the circles. And this side is most likely going to feel different from the other side. Just being in acceptance around that. Finding acceptance in the most subtle places. And then pivoting from the opposite leg, finding this kind of twist through the body, reaching up toward the sky. Seeing what you see. Seeing through your eyes and seeing through the balls of your feet. Rising and resolving. It's good to activate through the body. I hope that there's a moment in your day that you can take, but where there's some stillness that's possible. Maybe it's in a really challenging moment. Maybe it's an interaction with someone that feels really unpleasant. Just dropping into your body, dropping into your breath, into your peroneal body, your pelvic floor. Trusting the wisdom of your body. Finding some acceptance in the situation, which may invite some gratitude. And with gratitude comes grace. Thank you for being with me today.